tonight. We have had all kinds of problems getting on, and I had both of the kitties in my lap. They were just completely docile, and finally, with all these technical problems, Fluffy took off. But I have Chocolate here, and I get so many messages, whether email or written, from those of you out there and around the world who love cats, love animals, and they say, please, please keep showing us Chocolate and Fluffy. So tonight, I did have a lap full of both of them, and right now I've got dear Chocolate, and they are now about 1.5 years old, and if they had all of their hair, it would be sticking out about like this. So this is their summer cut, and they are the most loving creatures. And I wish for all of you out there who have the cats, who have dogs, who have pets that you love, that they sustain good health in your lives, because I know how important they are. And I love these little guys. Fluffy is the clown, and he is the one most likely, like tonight, he was here, but he knows when there is something and he'll jump down to play and run. He loves to play. And Chocolate is much more a cogitator. So I'm going to put you down now so I can talk with these people about some important subjects. Okay, you be a good boy. There goes Chocolate. And Fluffy may come in and jump up on the bookshelf like he has before. But I want to say to all of you who have been writing me and encouraging me to keep doing this YouTube channel. It means everything to me to get your personal encouragement. I've been getting letters from countries all over Europe. I've been getting countries from Asia, from Malaysia, from South America, from Mexico, from Australia, New Zealand, North America. It is a wonderful feeling to realize that there are so many of you out there who are trying, like I have been for 40 years, to understand what is the truth about this planet, we humans, and other intelligences in this universe. And that if I could get all of your help, all of you who are writing, all of you who are here tonight, to go to www.earthfiles.com, and right there on the headlines page, there's a little red and white button, and it says YouTube, and it is subscription, and you just click on it, and there you are. You can just subscribe, and I would love to see the subscription go from 110,000 up to 200,000 and more, because you know what it would mean. It would mean that a larger and larger and larger group of us are coming together on a weekly basis to share on subjects that, for the most part, we don't either feel comfortable about trying to express with even our families on a planet in which everything from out of body to telepathy to the idea of other life in the universe, to some people, they either find it threatening or they are not interested. Well, I am extremely interested in what is happening to you, and that my goal is to share here at the Earthfiles YouTube channel every Wednesday night some of the breaking news, some of the subjects which have been difficult for this planet before now and are beginning more and more and more to crack open, and that in being able to expand our subscriptions and get a larger and larger and larger audience, it does something extremely important. It also gives courage to the whistleblowers in this planet who have had face-to-face with non-humans, who have been to Antarctica under the ice, who have seen craft underground, to come forward, and they can communicate with me in a whistleblower confidential way, as I have been working with Spartan 1 and Spartan 2. And that as we keep seeing these headlines about the Space Force, the evolving Space Force for the United States, that one of the things that the whistleblowers, many of them, in various pieces of firsthand information have told me over the past several years, is that we have already had military special operations that have been interacting, and that we know that on our planet that we are not alone, and that there is an alien presence that has been interacting with Earth for millions of years and is still interacting now in the air, underwater, on land, below the Earth's surface, on the moon, probably on Mars, throughout the solar system and beyond, and that is the whole big truth that we are beginning to finally start catching up with as more headlines every day are coming, as if outer space is already dropping from the future into our daily news. Now, this morning, Tom DeLonge, founder of To the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences, also known as TTSA, he emailed me a link to this article on Politico.com this morning. U.S. Navy drafting new guidelines for reporting UFOs. Tom was letting me know that TTSA has been working the past year behind the scenes to help the U.S. Navy confirm publicly that the UFO phenomena is real and needs to be seriously studied and reported among scientists. Since TTSA's December 16, 2017 headlines in the New York Times, Politico, and the Washington Post about Navy jet fighter infrared UFO videos, Tom DeLonge says TTSA's goal has been to support research that tries to explain the extremely advanced technical capabilities that the unidentified aerial phenomena demonstrate. The Politico U.S. Navy News update says the Navy is not, quote, endorsing the idea that its sailors have encountered alien spacecraft, but the Navy also does not want to dismiss strange aerial sightings by credible military personnel, close quote. It was the Truman administration in 1947 that cracked down on all UFO information and seriously threatened military and Pentagon people who tried to leak UFO information. So this news this morning about the U.S. Navy, 72 years later, finally now drafting new guidelines to actually encourage pilots and other personnel to report encounters with unidentified aircraft. This is a big, huge, positive change. It would mean that pilots and military and everybody would stop feeling like if they reported something they didn't understand, something that was a UFO, they would be criticized, they might be hurt in their work, they might even lose their job. It has to stop. We have to change the entire paradigm to one where we can tell the truth and be honest about whatever high strangeness we meet, whether we are a pilot in a jet fighter or in a tank on the ground or in some kind of Navy craft at sea. People need to be encouraged to tell the truth, to draw what they have seen, to describe with physicists and scientists what they have seen, so that we could finally, as an entire planet, start moving forward together in trying to understand what the truth is precisely about these highly advanced technologies that are now not in dispute. When Politico reached out to the Navy for comment about its creating a new formal process for collecting and analyzing UFO phenomena, the Navy replied, quote, "There have been a number of reports of unauthorized and/or unidentified aircraft entering various military-controlled ranges and designated airspace in recent years. For safety and security concerns, the Navy and the U.S. Air Force take these reports very seriously and investigate each and every report, close quote. The Navy comment continues this way, quote, as part of this effort, the Navy is updating and formalizing the process by which reports of any such suspected incursions by UFOs and UAPs can be made to the cognizant authorities. A new message to the fleet that will detail the steps for UAP UFO reporting is in draft, close quote. And what they mean is the Navy is now putting together its new how to report and analyze UFO sightings, infrared video, and any other sort of interaction with something, whether through data and technology or eyewitness experiences. One of TTSA's advisors and shareholders is Chris Mellon, former U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and former staff director of the U.S. Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. And he told Politico, quote, right now we have a situation in which UFOs and UAPs are treated as anomalies to be ignored, rather than anomalies to be explored. We have systems that exclude that UFO information and dump it. In a lot of cases, military personnel don't know what to do with UFO information, like satellite data or a radar that sees something going Mach 3. They will dump the data because that is not a traditional aircraft or missile, close quote, Chris Mellon. Politico points out that because of the TTSA efforts since December 2017, more congressional representatives are asking questions about UFOs and UAPs. Consequently, senior naval intelligence officials have been doing briefings in Washington, D.C., but the Navy will not confirm yet who has been briefed about UFOs. Luis Elizondo, director of TTSA's Global Security and Special Programs, was a career intelligence officer in the Pentagon who headed the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, also known as ATIP. He retired in 2017 to work with TTSA. Lou Elizondo warns that the Pentagon's approach to UFOs, UAPs has not been serious enough. He told Politico, quote, if you are in a busy airport and you see something strange, you are supposed to say something. But with our own military members, it is kind of the opposite when it comes to UFOs. If you do see something, don't say anything. And what he means is, this has been the policy. Don't speak. It may hurt your job, it may hurt your life. And now, with this new change in the Navy that TTSA has been inspiring, we may see this go across the board in all the Pentagon agencies and branches of military. And finally, we would start getting this planet back on one note, telling the truth about high strangeness wherever it is. And yet, the UFO phenomena, even in spite of all of these denials, it includes aerial craft that can travel at thousands of miles an hour, do 90-degree turns, and stop instantly in midair, all of which would kill human pilots. One segment of the U.S. Navy that has been exposed to extraterrestrial technologies and structures for at least the past 25 years are the U.S. Navy SEALs in special operations, such as to Antarctica. As you all know, I have been working with whistleblowers for some time and in producing video segments with Spartan 1, a U.S. Navy SEAL who in August 2003 was deep under Antarctic ice, where he had gone to extract a scientist who was photographing and analyzing thousands of symbols and hieroglyphs carved into huge black basalt doors and walls 1 to 2 miles deep under the thick Antarctic ice. But even with all that ice and cold, he said the temperature inside the alien structures remained 62 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And wherever Spartan 1 walked, the walls would glow with a lime green light as if reacting to the presence of his moving body, like self-activated software. I have more to come with Spartan 1 and 2 next month in May, exclusively on my Earthfiles YouTube channel. In May, I will have a fourth and very important video segment to share with you. And meanwhile, I have been receiving information from another military special operations individual who confirms that what Spartan 1 has described deep under the ice in Antarctica is known to him as well. There is much more to unfold, and I hope all of you will reach out to your friends, neighbors, and families. Urge them to subscribe to my Earthfiles YouTube channel so we can all keep the energy high about opening up truths and provoking other military whistleblowers to come forward. I always honor requests for confidentiality, but my goal is to get the pressure of facts more widely distributed in this difficult world where policies of denial have kept the human's family dumb and blind for centuries. And now, I want to move on to the mysterious and persistent booms from above ground and below ground, mixed occasionally with metallic and trumpet sounds that have been reported around the world since January 2011. Tonight, I'm concentrating on a brand new, huge explosive boom. If any of you, between now and say next week, if you hear anything in the metallic sound or the trumpet sound, please let me know. I would also like to do more reporting about those sounds. Now, a month ago, on March 19th, 2019, in Omaha and Harrison, Arkansas, small towns about 20 miles apart and not far from the Arkansas and Missouri border that is shown on this map as a thin red line dividing the two states. The Harrison Police Department received a 4:28 p.m. Central Time phone call from a woman who reported, quote, hearing a loud boom in the area of South Sycamore in Harrison. An officer sent to investigate did not locate anything suspicious in the area. Another caller about a minute later reported the same loud boom incident. Officers said military planes had been flying over the area and might have caused a sonic boom, close quote. But no military traffic was confirmed to be breaking the sound barrier in the Harrison, Arkansas region on March 19th, 2019. Also, that same day of March 19th, Branson, Missouri's KTTS News posted, loud boom heard in the Branson area, and said, quote, people from around the Ozarks say they heard a boom in the Branson Mountain home area at around 4 p.m. Central today. They also say the boom was enough to shake their homes. The Ozarks has a history with these booms, and they usually come from overhead supersonic military aircraft. Although we don't know what caused this one. If we do find out, we will let you know, close quote. No further follow-ups from news media or police to date. Now, on April 18th, after last week's Earthfiles YouTube broadcast, I received an email from Omaha, Arkansas resident Helen Pounds, who heard my YouTube broadcast and wanted me to know that she and her husband, William Pounds, known also as Rocky, were shocked by a huge explosive boom sound also on the afternoon of March 19th, 2019. Helen is 66 and Rocky is 74. They have been married for 43 years. William's career was as an integrated circuit designer for companies such as Intel and AMD, and he was also a Marine. Helen was a layout designer for the semiconductor industry, and then was a medical transcriptionist for several years until retirement. The Pounds have lived in their Omaha, Arkansas home since 1982, and they have never heard what shocked them on March 19, 2019. Here now is Helen Pounds from an interview discussion we had last night about what happened.
It was March 19th. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. My husband and I were standing in the living room, and all of a sudden there was a large boom. I mean, enough to almost shake the house. It sounded to me like a house exploding, and we both ran outside and looked around to see if we could see any smoke or fire or anything. We live in a forested area, so we don't have a direct view of neighbors or anybody else, but we didn't see any smoke or flames or anything. And we just wandered around outside looking around, and about 10 to 20 minutes after that happened, we heard 2 helicopters. And my husband's ex-military, he said they were military helicopters. They were a lot louder than the medevac helicopters that we hear often. These were very loud. We didn't see them, but we could hear them, and it sounded like they came from the south, which would be Harrison, Arkansas. They were west of us, and they sort of circled around for a little bit, and then they went back off to the south.
How close do you think that they were from you? Meaning, could they have been very low, like near the treetops?
Oh, yes, they were low. You could tell by the loudness of them that they were pretty low.
And that would suggest that the 2 helicopters that showed up were looking for something on the ground.
Exactly, exactly.
How long were they there?
They were in the area for about 15 minutes or so, and they seemed to be going over the same area.
Did you or your husband go to that area to see if you could find anything?
No, we really didn't. It's sort of a rugged area where we live, and we didn't think about going over there.
How many people live in your area?
Well, the town of Omaha, there's like 169 people, and we're 7 miles east of there, and probably in our immediate area, there's probably about 50 families scattered out over the area.
So it is very rural.
It is. It's very rural. In fact, we're 2 miles off pavement.
That makes this even more interesting because what could make such a huge boom?
I have no idea. It was heard north of us and south of us both.
Was there any follow-up in news, in newspaper, radio, and television, specifically reporting this as an unknown mystery?
No, none at all. I watched for it on the news, and I looked on their website, and I didn't see any follow-up to it at all.
Did you talk with any neighbors who also heard it?
No, I talked with a friend that lives in Harrison, which is about 20 miles away, and she said that it rattled their house there, too.
20 miles away?
She's 20 miles from us south. They had no idea what it was. And my husband or anyone he talked to had no idea what it was.
And had you and your husband ever heard loud booms before March 19th?
No. He was raised in California and didn't think it was an earthquake. He didn't think it was a sonic boom. I didn't think it was a sonic boom, but we have no idea what it was. We've heard of no houses exploding, which is what we first thought it was, like a big gas explosion or something in a house. But we've heard nothing about it.
Isn't that strange?
It is. It's very strange because there's not industry around here. There's, not much. It's very rural, and we have no idea what it could have been.
In the years since you have lived in Omaha, Arkansas, since around 1982 to 2019, have you or your husband ever seen unusual light activity in the sky or heard any of the neighbors in your rural area describe seeing something unidentified?
Well, my husband did describe seeing something as he was coming home from a poker game one night that was lights in the sky. It was moving, and it made absolutely no sound.
What do you think about the whole concept of an alien intelligence or alien intelligences interacting with our planet, and that some of these mysteries, like the worldwide booms, might be related?
Oh, I think they definitely are. I think either we're being visited or they have different technology than we do, or I know there's something else out there besides us. There has to be.
And for all of you who are listening who may have heard any of these booms or the metallic sounds or the trumpets, and you've been afraid to tell somebody because you were afraid you would be criticized, let's move that needle toward acceptance of being able to describe high strangeness without being afraid of consequences. So for those of you out there who may already have had interactions with some of these strange sounds since 2011 to 2019, this is 8 years this has been going on. And at Earthfiles, for a couple of years, I was trying to keep maps going with every new boom, and it became like hundreds over a period of time. There have been that many booms coming, and it's like in cycles. And right now, I would be very interested, way beyond North America, if any of you in Europe and Malaysia, Asia, Australia, South America, Mexico, everywhere, if you have heard anything that you think really truly falls into this category of something that is a bizarre and explosive sound, metallic sound, or trumpet-like sound, let me know. And I would like people to start, if you could, providing me the specific latitude and longitude of where you are. That would help me assemble a world map now where people are reporting high strangeness. And that as we go into May, I am going to be reporting again about some of the high strangeness, some of the highest strangeness that people have reported to me over the past 4 decades. And that my goal is to start opening up more and more subjects that have not necessarily been in public dialogue, but maybe only in books, sometimes only in some kind of a privately published book. And with that in mind, think of where you have hard, credible photographs, hard, credible videotape, hard, credible forensic evidence, and that we could start trying to sift through the world's experiences and find new, credible phenomena and incidents that I could report to all of you, and we could learn in this together. And one of the best places for sharing, staying up all night, sharing in fantastic presentations is Contact in the Desert. And it is coming up May 31st through June 3rd. I cannot wait to be there and to see a lot of you, I think, are coming. I've been getting emails from people saying, can we see you? Can we go to a night watch with you? And I'm open to do it all as long as I can keep doing what I'm scheduled to do at Contact in the Desert. If you go to my www.earthfiles.com, and on the right side it says Conferences and Appearances with Linda Moulton Howe. Open that up, and it's a long series that starts at the top, May 30th to June 3rd, 2019, Contact in the Desert. This will be May 31st to June 3rd, 2019. This is going to be the 7th annual Contact. The first 4 or 5 were in literal desert, and we thought of it as going to a kind of fun boot camp. Now we're at the beautiful Renaissance Hotel in Indian Wells, California. Last year it was the first time, and it was fantastic. The hotel is great. The grounds surrounding this hotel are wonderful. One night, one of the guys there had some of the Starscope binoculars, and a group of about 8 or 9 of us went out until 4 o'clock in the morning. And what we were seeing in the sky through those Starscopes, there was so much movement. And we were not naive about satellites, birds, but there was way more things that were bright, that were moving than we could see with our naked eye. And it was puzzling. And we have often wondered if we all did night watches with starscope binoculars all the time, because that enhances and magnifies, maybe we would see a lot more. And I'm going to be presenting more on my whistleblowers at Contact. I'm going to be talking about children in out-of-body experiences that we came into first discussion here at the Earthfiles YouTube channel back in October of 2018, a few months ago, and that the unfolding of your letters on that subject have been, to me, in many ways, heart-rendering, because so many people have started their letters. I have never told anyone this before, and yet the experiences are lifetime memories. They seem to impact a lot of people who have had out-of-body as children in ways that other people have not described. And I will be doing the binary code, the very special and amazing presentation that I have worked on over a period of time, having to do with binary code to military people and others that emerges in the UFO phenomena. And there will be many, many other great speakers. Peter Levenda and Whitley Strieber and others will be there. And so go to Earthfiles, find the registration and tickets, and sign up and come and introduce yourself to me and shake my hand. And I really look forward to seeing a lot of you at Contact. Now, after that, June 21st to 23rd in Los Angeles, I and others will be at Alien Con 2019, where a bunch of us from Ancient Aliens, now in its 12th season, we're doing exciting programming upcoming, and we will all be together in Los Angeles at the Convention Center from June 21st to 23rd. We will be doing officially organized photographs, autographs, panels, presentations, and it can be really, really fun. And I would love to see a lot of you there too. And then after Alien Con, jump over the Atlantic to England in Manchester, which is, I think, one of the coolest cities on the planet. I was there 2 years ago to be an evening presenter with Eric von Daniken. I did a program and Eric did a program, and it was fantastic. And I loved Manchester. And for those of you then who are my English friends from the Crop Circle days, know that from July 19th to the 20th, 2019, that I will be in Manchester to do an evening program on this increasingly important question: is AI an existential threat to humanity? I think it's one of the most important subjects on the planet, paralleling UFOs and alien intelligences. And so you can, I have a direct link from the Earthfiles Conferences and Appearances section that goes right to the awakeningufo.com and the Manchester office. And that after that, get through, these are all the pages from my conferences and appearances. Now, then October 6th to 13th. This is the UFO cruise. It's going to be what is being advertised as a seminar at sea with a whole bunch of us. And we will be in special events in this ocean cruise that in that week is going to be sailing from San Diego, California on October 6th to what is called the Mexican Riviera that includes Cabo San Lucas, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta. And I think that the most fun is going to be to have everybody come to where each of us is speaking and then go and talk afterward. Stay up all night under the stars at sea I love that. I love staying up all night and talking about some of these really, really exciting subjects that you can't talk about always back in your daily life and jobs. So with that as a rundown on what's upcoming in my world for being out in the world to interact with all of you, and then Wednesday nights here on the Earthfiles YouTube channel, that I hope that we can continue to keep expanding the subscriptions greatly. And Lori, I think that we have about 10 minutes for some questions and comments, and I should say, we don't know what happened with our Wirecast at the beginning. We just simply couldn't interface with YouTube. That was why we had the delay. Maybe we'll get an answer to that mystery, but that's why we're late. So Lori, if it is possible for us to do Q&A now, maybe we can go just a tiny bit longer tonight because of this strange Wirecast problem.
I don't think anyone would have a problem with going a few extra minutes,
Okay.
and we can get feedback from the chat right away for that, I'm sure.
All right.
So first, we'd like to thank our amazing people that have liked and subscribed today and our awesome super chats.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
So our first question is, Linda, do you have any comments about Joe Formage named as president by the National Space Council?
Well, I met Joe Firmage back in the early 1990s when he invited Hal Puthoff and me and several other people to join him in an effort in which you could say that it was sort of like a very early step, like TTSA, in which he was trying hard to reach out through many venues and many researchers and brought us all together. That was one of the powerful steps that Joe Firmage took. And his idea was to try to start lifting the credibility of UFO research, UFO technology, the facts about this technology that TTSA today, Tom DeLonge's group with Steve Justice from Lockheed Skunk Works, Jim Semivan, who worked for the CIA for a long time, Chris Mellon, who was an assistant secretary in the Defense Department, Lou Elizondo, who worked in the Pentagon and was the head from 2007 to 2012 of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Hal Puthoff is the physicist and head of their physics research division. And I have known Hal Puthoff from going all the way back to the very early 1990s, respect and admire him very much. So it was Joe Firmage who also brought Hal Puthoff, myself, and others together during a period of time. So in his work in the computer industry, it may be that what he has been doing since those days, when he was trying to build a bridge to the UFO phenomena, that he has continued to work, not so much out in the public, and that is probably explaining his appointment. Anything else?
Absolutely. Here's our next one. Linda, do you have a comment on the recent release of the Google patent regarding a triangle-shaped anti-gravity craft?
Now, what was Google what? Google.
A comment on the recent release of a Google patent regarding the triangle-shaped anti-gravity craft.
Patent. Who?
Patent.
Yeah. Can the person who asked the question send you a notice about who was it that filed for this patent? And I may know more that way, and we could go on to another question.
Okay, great. So we were going to save this for last. Here you go.
Okay.
I hate to ask this because I hope that you're going to be here for another 30 years. But Linda, who's going to take over your research when you're done doing this?
I don't know. I feel healthy and vital and energized, and if all goes well and the world doesn't fall apart, I think I have at least another decade of high energy in me, and in that process, I think that what is the part that none of us can anticipate is when will that headline, "We are not alone in this universe," break. That is going to change the energy of so many things. It's going to open up so much more publicly that everything that all of us are trying hard to get out in credible fashion now might just come pouring out. It might be a complete global revelation with all kinds of unexpected new revelations. You can see my point. That it is right now, it is extremely hard to anticipate how much will research change, research priorities change when we finally crack open the truth that we have alien intelligences interacting with this planet and this solar system, and they've been there for millions and millions of years, and our government knows that for sure. Well, once that's out, you can see, if you put yourself in my shoes, all of the research priorities might start shifting and changing. It won't change the solidity of what is already in my books, in my videos, in my YouTube, in the ancient aliens, in all of the work that I have done in so many different venues. That won't change anything, but it would be a time that would be, to me, so exciting to be alive when that headline breaks and to be in a position to have dialogues with all of you. And none of us can anticipate what precisely will be revealed. And so you can see, I'm counting on wanting to continue to keep doing deep digs in the most credible way I possibly can in abductions, in animal mutilations, in if crop formations re-emerge from counterintelligence, trying to muddy the waters on those. And two, the vital work that TTSA and others are trying to do on back engineering, or at least trying to understand some of the artifacts that are now in research, where we're still trying to understand. That reinforces, and for me, confirms that the bismuth, magnesium, zinc, for example, which is one of those issues, it is not understood. And since Art Bell and I received that bismuth, magnesium, zinc layered metal back in early 1996, not a single lab, person, institution, or agency has reproduced the nano-layered, micron-thick layers of pure bismuth alternating with a magnesium-zinc alloy. It has not been done. And even understanding precisely what its role was exactly on wedge-shaped, not round, wedge-shaped craft back in the 40s. So if we start all these multiple needles that are moving now, where there's going to be credible, I hope, that the Navy will do the break on this and that they will start reporting UFO, UAP activity and doing it in a straightforward way, and that the public will be learning as the government learns, as the military learns. I am not naive to think that we would know all, but that the entire paradigm, if it shifts, as the headlines today from the TTSA inspiring a new approach by the Navy to start treating UFOs, UAPs with respect and that military people all over the world who see UFOs, who see something flying at Mach 5, Mach 10, whatever it is, that they can feel comfortable in reporting it. That right now, that headline today, this is a significant step for 72 years ago when the Harry Truman administration was clamping a lid on everything. And people would be hurt, punished if they talked about anything. So I take the TTSA Politico story today as a sign of things changing to the positive. I think that the whistleblowers that I'm working on, which the truth is, you couldn't have a whole group of people. It would never work. I would never, ever have been able to do the work that I have done the last 3 years if there was anybody doing it except me. It's that difficult, and people are that scared. So I could do things on an individual basis. If I tried to do it with a group, never, ever would have happened. So maybe another part of the evolutionary step is that I hope my work, which I think so many people understand now how credible and how the data is established in my work, and that I've always worked for the pressure of fact, that hopefully my books and my documentaries and my thousands of radio interviews and my YouTube channel and the work I'm doing now that is still not public, that it will be important in putting the pointillisme together when the headline breaks that we're not alone in the universe. It'll be so many dots that have come together to make a picture of what the truth is about other intelligences. So I don't see myself slowing down for another decade if, God willing, my health and my strength are there. And in these 10 years, ladies and gentlemen, 2019 to 2039, you know what is predicted? Elon Musk wants to launch from Mars in 2022. And I want to be on this YouTube channel, on television, on radio, when I can say, and in the 6 o'clock news tonight, it was reported from Mars. It's coming. We're going to have news reports, and they're going to come from Mars, and they're going to come from the moon. It's going to be a really, really, I think, exciting future if the national, territorial, tribal conflicts of humans on our planet don't cause a lot of destruction. I pray every day that doesn't happen, and that we can move out into an exciting relationship with the universe and learning about who are our allies, who are the hostiles, why are they hostile, and who are the neutrals. Can we work with and learn from neutrals? And tonight, I would like to end up on something that I learned that reminds me of this moment in time. And it was Discover Magazine did an article about AI techs developing robots that could be in a room with us like now, or on a spaceship, or working in the military, but AI that would be humanoid in form, be a colleague, artificial intelligence with the human species. And they went through a dialogue with some of the Q&A that have already been experimented with and recorded. And here is one of those dialogues between a Homo sapien human being and an artificial intelligence robot. The human asked, "What is the difference between me and you?" And the robot answered, "You are made of cells. I am made of code." I think future is coming fast. We've been afraid of the machines taking us over. It may be possible that it will be a collaboration that will make everything stronger and better if we're careful. And on that note, tonight I want to say thank you to everybody. I hope you go and tell everyone to go and subscribe, and that next week, hopefully, we won't have a technical problem at the beginning, because I had my lap full of chocolate and fluffy, and they are so adorable, and I want to try that again, but they have only so much feline patience. God bless you, everybody.